Look how many people already joined. That was quick. James, I was trying to text you like 5 times, but I see
Yeah?
you joining the calls. Yes.
Sorry, I missed you. How are you
Oh,
doing?
good. I'm good. Welcome. I actually wanted to ask you if you want to present today because Kotani Pay is not presenting. So if you feel like after you hear Impact Market and EthicHub talking to come up and give a little word about what you do, that will be your moment to shine. Um,
Sure.
who else do we have here? Join us. Anyone who wants to come up and say hello?
Hi, it's John Hargreaves here.
Hey, John. How are you?
John, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. Had a great time in Singapore last week at
Yeah.
Token. It was pretty awesome, actually. Bit tired.
49. I think
Back
it was
in,
a major
I,
event, right?
there was a real innovation happening. You know, it's almost easier because the markets are smaller and not tied up in knots around regulation. Yeah, interesting.
last time I was in Token 2049. They convinced me that crypto is a scam, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
that was entirely my last experience. So yeah, just not being a scam was an advantage, right?
yes, it's not
Yeah,
like literally. I've been in crypto for I don't know since 2014. Sometimes
yeah,
when I go to those big conferences
yeah,
and I have
yeah,
someone literally sold me a token, sold me like tried to sell me a token. I
yeah.
was like, I was like, what's a token? It was like, you don't need to understand much. It's deflationary. Everybody wins. Like what? No, like please stop saying that. Like,
Yeah, there was a
Just
bit
not
of that.
early.
There was a bit of that. But
Early.
well, so we have here. Wants to come up, say hi.
Hello, I'm
Hello.
from Beehive. I met Ruben yesterday through a call.
Ah,
Hi,
we have
Vincent. Welcome. How are you?
Hello, doing fine. Except it's like 11:30 p.m. for me right now.
thank you for joining so late.
I apologize for that.
Uh, no worries, but this is why I'm interested, right? So that's why I joined Credit Collective.
Thank you. Excited to have you. We haven't been doing those calls for a while now, so
Hmm.
I'm expecting the engagement to go up slowly as we continue going into those conversations. We will wait another like minute or two, mumbling, and then we'll just take a deep dive.
Sure, looking forward to the session.
Maria.
Hello,
Hey.
I'm joining to meet the whole credit community.
Maria is my co-founder. If anyone doesn't like of Flory Ventures, if anyone doesn't know that.
Hi,
Uh, And I see Sean. We met you in South Africa that you joined us.
Yeah, exactly. Nice to see you again. Calling in from South Africa. I'm Sean, everyone. And yeah, first time in a climate collective call.
Credit Collective. We are different guys than the other ones.
Sorry, Credit Collective.
Last
That's what
time
I
you make
meant.
this mistake, next time we kick you out. Like,
Excuse
um,
me.
that's okay. No worries. Gitai, more to do Israeli crew, I see. Um, great. I think we have 16 people. That's enough for us to start, I believe, the call at this stage. So thanks everybody for joining. I'll give a bit of a background of what we're trying to do here, what was the goal of those calls, and then what's the goal of the Credit Collective. Basically, what we have seen, and I believe each and every one of you has seen it from his own direction, is that the credit problem is a bit of too much of a big problem to solve by ourselves. It's a credit for small businesses. It's a credit for renewable energy. It's a credit for climate projects. It's the credit for, I don't know, big factories around the global south and so on. What we did find out is that there's a lot of connections that can be made between companies, between investors, between liquidity providers, and people are interested to meet each other. And that's why we started the Credit Collective. Our goal is to push forward the industry of on-chain credit solution. We are doing few activities. One of them is those calls that we haven't done for a while, and we'll go back to now. the other activities that we do, we will be publishing soon a research paper about on-chain credit solution, giving examples of all the great people that are here and in our group, and some other activities that we are starting to form right now, and we will be updating in the group. The goal of those calls is community building. What I want and what my wish is from this call is that when you go next time to token 2049, or you go next time to an event, when you see each other, you know how to recognize each other, you know how to help each other with intros, you can organize events together. This vague thing that is called a community. So the goal of those calls are purely community building calls. The structure hopefully will remain the same. We will be having those calls on a bi-weekly basis. We'll do some community updates, new companies presentations, Q&A sessions, and then ideas of more things that we can do together in order to push the industry forward. So, few of the updates. One, we won a government proposal on Celo blockchain that gave us 2 million euros to deploy for new credit solutions on-chain on Celo. So I want to say thank you for Celo community for the support in us and believing in us and pushing forward the credit and real-world use cases industry. So thanks for that. Second, the research paper is in its final stages. It's ready for a community feedback. After the call, Sebastian will publish it in the community. Please give your feedback on it. We will integrate what we can. We won't integrate what we can't. We want to represent your companies. There's a section for each company to write a bit about yourself. We hope and we will send this paper to leading Web 2 players in the credit world for them to read and have an initial view into the credit solutions. At the moment, the next few activities that we'll start bringing up will be the investors community, and later would be also the DAO. And that's basically it at this stage. Anyone wants to ask anything before we jump into companies' presentation? Today we have EthicHub and Impact Market, and KotaniPay couldn't make it eventually. James from I'm trying to push James from Roda to present, even though he wasn't prepared for it. Maybe he will, maybe not. But after this call, Sebastian will also publish a form where you can sign up and present yourself in the next community calls. All the calls are recorded and will be uploaded to the Credit Collective channels, and we can send it to you. You can use it as materials, as whatever it is that is needed. Questions? Suggestions? Sean.
Hi, Toma. Thanks so much for that outline. I've got a much better understanding of what you guys are about now. And yeah, looking forward to reading the paper and hopefully presenting maybe in the next call or the call after that on IXO and some of the projects we're doing. I just wanted to ask, so are you guys intending on building a DAO to manage investments?
One of our activities that we want to do is, yes, to have a DAO of people who are interested in not investment in terms of equity, in terms of staking debt into protocols, the same as the capital that we raise from Celo right now to do as a credit collective.
Cool, thank you.
Yes. More questions before we jump in? We have, yeah.
All right. So just to make sure that those $2 million is to provide us that capital to the projects, or can you probably
yes, I can elaborate on that a little bit. Yes, the goal of this money, beside the operations and legal and everything that needs to go around it, will be to be staked into on-chain pools that will go into debt facilities, if it's micro lending, if it's bigger lending like Centrifuge or Goldfinch, etc., if it's staking to debt for futures for climate projects. But yes, we're talking not about liquidity providing for tokens, talking only about providing debt money.
Like, for example, depositing in UMA finance pool, for example.
For example, yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly the type of example we're going after.
All right.
Cool.
It's a
Is
cool
there
idea.
like a requirements, minimum conditions, or amounts?
Yes. If you want, you know what, man, I'll just go over it. We can't be more than 30% of a pool. We are requiring, we will be staking only to pools of companies who already already gave some debt by themselves. Okay. And the maximum we can do would be $150,000. So that's generally the outline.
Is there any requirement for collateral? Sorry, guys.
No, it could be
Collateral
collateralized.
requirements?
It could be collateralized or uncollateralized.
So if we bring the 67% or the remaining amounts from other sources, that's the main requirement to get access to it, right?
Yes, and to have history as well. Exactly.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Awesome. So with that in mind, if you're already here, Marco, do you want to start? Like, start by presenting yourself, 10 minutes, just present yourself. In that time, some questions and answers for the community to ask, learn more about your protocol. And after that, we have EthicHub presenting.
All right,
Stage
cool.
yours.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm Marco. I'm currently co-founder and ex-CEO of Impact Market. We just announced a new CEO today, Will Lee. But I'm still like very much involved. And instead of making a presentation, I will just go through some data and showing the products. So I think it's much more useful than just making a traditional deck presentation. So if I may, I will just share my screen. If you guys can see, I hope so. So let me just go.
Yes, we can see.
All right. You can see like the main page, right? Where it shows like a microcredit, UBI, learn and earn.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So yeah, just to make a short introduction and context, Impact Market is what we call an impact-driven open finance protocol that provides basically different tools to empower vulnerable communities to access like financial tools, and also some educational tools, and we are very aligned with providing also incentives for that. So there is an incentive for people also to join, but then they have the access to financial mechanisms that allow them to to prosper or to uplift themselves from the situation they are in. We are currently in about 27 developing countries. We started with the concept of providing unconditional basic income, where we have in one side donors or people that are just depositing, let's say, stable coins, and we use lending protocols to redirect the interests of those deposits. And so far, yeah, the people that we are supporting have transacted almost $10 million. And recently, about 5 months ago, we have started with the microcredit, basically leveraging the community that we are already in. So the beneficiaries that are claiming basic income, they can apply for a microcredit that can go from $50 up to, I think the maximum we have is $2,500 for small businesses. But the large focus is between $500 and $200. Very short maturity rates between 2 months to 5 months. So far, we have lended about $110,000 on chain. Before this, we ran several off-chain experiments to learn how to do this. So I will just jump to some data, you can see, I usually share like detailed reports of how we are progressing, usually on a monthly basis on the Telegram group channel. So you can just go and see the last PDF that I shared. It shows a lot of demographics and data. But for example, as part of the DAP Looker that we are working with them, all of this that that you are seeing is direct on-chain data. So I will further explain how the process works. Oh my God. Okay. Too much requirement on the internet. Let me go further to other parts before I'm going back to it. Right. So, okay, here we go. All of this is on-chain data. Directly from the smart contracts that we have, where we have lenders or debt capital providers, and then we deposit on the special kind of smart contract that we developed, where the borrowers can directly claim their loans and repay. So so far you can see here some of this data, like we have been looking for additional debt capital. But what kind of mattered the most for us now is the debt repayments and the amount of the debt repayments have been doing. So we want to see these trend lines going up. And so far we are still with 0% default rate. But you know, a lot of the loans didn't yet reach its maturity. And this is like on a monthly basis. These links are also public. So anyone can see our data. We are completely transparent. Also, on top of that, people can, yeah, you can see like all the stories from our beneficiaries. Okay, this is not loading. But people can share their stories and saying like in what they are investing their credits, what they are buying, which kind of new businesses they are doing. So there is also a very strong social component to that. This is like the way we operate is let me open. So a borrower can just come, for example, to an application form, and they can see how much, up to how much they can claim or ask, and also the maturity. When they do apply, then they can choose like which mobile banker they want to be associated with, it depending on the country. So assuming that I'm going for Uganda, but these are the countries where we are in at the moment. And this is all the kind of documentation that we ask when they apply for the loan. So based on the mobile banker, then mobile bankers are people that are kind of approved by us or by the DAO. And the mobile banker then have a dashboard where they can follow all the borrowers, their loan, their maturity, and current debt, and also the performance. So the performance means that how much they have repaid versus how much time has passed. And in this case, they can see like they can open the profile, but also see on the profile like all the documentation that was provided. If it's a business, like some financial statements, current invoices. If it's individual that wants to buy something specific, like provide more information about that. Usually there is a process of submitting, going through an interview with the mobile banker, and then being able to claim. And everything is on the wallet. So they claim Celo dollars, they repay in Celo dollars. Then we have partners that they can cash in or cash out.
Marco,
So, all right, cool. So that's it. I'm not counting, but
can I ask a question?
oh, sure.
In the previous image, there were like 100 and something credits, and only one looked to be on track. What does that mean? Like most credits are not on track, they're not being paid?
Also, this is ordered by last repayment. This the on track what means is that how much they have. Oh, here on
Yeah,
top.
on
Okay,
track,
the on
need
track
help,
means that
fully repaid.
yes. So what it means is that we calculate how much they have repaid so far versus how much time has passes and up to maturity. Most of the people are looking to repay like closer to maturity or weeks before maturity. So
they
this is what
pay
it means.
all at once. At maturity, they pay.
Yeah, most of them, yes. So far, we're still with 0% default rate, but hopefully, we want to keep a very low default rate, like below 5%, hopefully. But this is what it means.
And
So,
how
for
do you
example,
prevent
in this
them?
case, say again?
How do you prevent them to just take another credit so that they repay on the last day?
We don't accept. Well, if they have an ongoing credit, they can ask for another.
And when they're done paying, they can?
They can't ask for a second loan if they don't repay the first loan.
And when they finish the first loan, then yes, they can ask for another one.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks.
And also we learn some of our tokens, and the more tokens they have, they get access also to better conditions. But this is like other kind of conversation.
What's the interest rate?
We start with 0.2% daily on the debt. So it's compounded on daily. So it's more or less 6% per month on the first loan. It can go, then it start to go lower up to 0.1%. So starts in 0.2 and then 0.1. The more loans they get and they are able to repay, then they get better conditions. So annualized APY compounded is like almost 100%, but this is on the debt, meaning that the debt increases 0.2% every 24 hours. So the faster they repay, the more they repay, less it compounds.
So there is no repayment schedule. They choose to repay any way they can, but yes, it gets accumulated daily.
Exactly. So this was something that we now on the application form we ask what's the repayment schedule or the periodicity, if it's daily, if it's weekly or monthly, just to have a better sense of the repayment rate.
Yeah. And how do you choose those managers, your bankers? Who are they?
So they so we are leveraging our current communities that already are receiving unconditional basic income. So usually these communities have community managers. That can be a local charity, can be a community leader, or can be someone on the ground. Also in our team, we have ambassadors in different of these countries, in several of these countries. So usually are those community managers that we already know that they apply then to become a mobile banker. Then their compensation is based on the success rate of the borrowers they accept. So who approves these community managers? Basically, it's a council within our DAO. That is basically our ambassadors.
So it's someone that you have known or have been like with you for at least like 6 months or a year.
Yes.
In the community.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Think of this like EBI is great to drive adoption and retention, and people know how to use $dollar to cash in, cash out, and transfer it among themselves. Also, it helps us build the relationship with the community managers on the ground from those communities. And then this is a way to uplift themselves. So like now these beneficiaries can apply for a loan, and these community managers can apply to become a mobile banker because they already know them, right? So also because there are already some transactions on chain from these beneficiaries, this is something that now we are building on top of that. So trying to measure like some kind of credit scoring or reputation scoring based on the previous transactions because they already have this kind of history. So if we don't ask for collateral or assets, this is how we are approaching it. And then there is an incentive of if having like our token or have our token stakers, then they can get better conditions when applying for a credit, for example. So
Okay.
I don't know if there is already the 10 minutes. So, but I just wanted to show you this. We are still kind of in a early stage, as you can see from these numbers. But yeah, we believe that as soon as this number reach 500,000, we'll be break even. So it's a question of making sure that there is no default rate, good repayment rates, good data, and access to more debt capital.
Nice.
And one thing kind of leads to the other.
So I got one question. So now that I understand it, you mentioned you have 400 repayments here. That means like 400 payments, right? So it means pretty much that you got 3 repayments per loan being repaid at the moment. Am I right?
Yes, a repayment is like when someone makes a repayment regardless of the amount. So you can see here like debt repayments. This is the number of each number of repayments per week. This is the amount of dollars that has been repaid per week.
Okay,
Nice.
so you said that most users prefer to repay like most of the amount, if not all of the amount, at the end of the.
They
of the
start to
time.
repaying slightly, but most of the amounts at the end.
We are on time and I don't want to go over time here. So Marco, thank you
Yes,
so much
just
for
one
going.
question. Maybe. What do you need? I mean, what help do you need, or what do you need? How can we help?
Access to that capital, more debt capital. We have a lot
Okay.
of demand, and that's our biggest struggle at this moment.
Are you looking to partner with microfinance organizations or that have capital
Yes.
banks?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are looking to be at the infrastructure so other microfinance or banking institutions can use it to better deploy their capital, lend their capital with their teams. We don't want to be the lenders, but for now we are being, because we need to get this traction and show results and make sure the product is great. But ultimately, we want to become a kind of decentralized SaaS micro lending infrastructure. Let's say, not sure if this is the right way to say it, but
Okay.
yes, MFIs, development banks, and other financial institutions that provide micro lending that want to have it more efficiently and more transparently, and they have better data and better processes, basically.
Okay, happy to touch base on that separately and see
Thank
if I can help you.
You guys will enjoy the call. Like I know you guys very well, and you'll enjoy talking to each other a lot. Next, we have, I think, Juan from EthicHub coming to present.
Hello, everyone. Good to be here. It's a pleasure.
Juan, thank you for taking the time to present. Stage is all yours.
Perfect.
Enjoy
Thank you
it.
so much. And thank you, Pedro, to clearing the way. So can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes, we can.
Let me check. Okay, perfect. So I will start with a brief introduction about what is EthicHub, and then I will move just as Pedro into, like kind of real demo about how the protocol works by itself. As Pedro started like explaining, there are like 20% of worldwide population who have no access to traditional banking system, which means that they cannot access, let's say, affordable working capital. Normally, the main problem for them is that they have to pay interest rates very, very high, between 80 or even more than 100%, which finally makes that they are stuck in the circle of poverty. And well, it's like it's the mission of EthicHub to try to create triple impact. In this case, it's financial, social, and environmental through an impact investment protocol. We're talking about 1.2 billion people worldwide. It's a blue ocean. And just like a brief introduction about what have been doing EthicHub during the past 5 years, because we are one of the first, let's say, like refi protocols. We start building, let's say, on-ramp of RAM solution for non-crypto users in order to allow them to directly invest on unbanked smallholder farmers. And during the past 2 years, we have also been developed what we call the decentralized protocol. And in this case, right now, there are like 2 different kind of financial products. The first one, which works only with the stablecoin, so digital dollars in this case, which allow everyone to lend money directly to those smallholder farmers. And then let's say like the second financial product, it's the one which works with ethics or native token. And this second product, it's what we call the over-collateralized system, which allow everyone to, on behalf of those smallholder farmers, deposit or stake ethics. So in case of default, that collateral or crowd collateral, it's automatically liquidated into the market in order to repay the principal plus the yield. So finally, we have like this kind of two money flows. The first one is a low risk, let's say like high profitability in this case, so because it's a annual 8% return. And if we ask on it, if someone is wondering where does that profitability comes from, the smallholder farmers normally they have to pay a 16% interest rate. 8% goes to the investor, 4% goes to the company, and the other 4% it's used in order to increase the crowd collateral system. This is like a very quick and easy explanation about what happens if there are any kind of default. So the crowd collateral staked by EthicHub community and also the originators. I mean, in this case, the cooperative we're lending money to because it's the way we have to align incentive, and so they have some kind of a skin on the game, and they also have this willing to repay the principal. It's liquidated into the market. Additional, we are not only focusing on let's say like this financial business model, which finally we need some kind of volume in order to reach our break-even point. We are also financing those smallholder farmers, and at the same time, we disintermediate within the supply chain, and we also sell the coffee to more than 6 different countries. Let's say that this is like the more typical, or let's say maybe the more Web2 traditional business model. It's quite important to say, and I want to show you a little bit about our metrics. During the past 3-4 years, we have lent more than, but these are not updated, we have lent more than $3.5 million to over 600 communities in more than 6 different countries. It's quite important to say that our default ratio, it's been always below 1%, and this is thanks to, let's say, what we call like this kind of game theory applied to the real world. And even more important, the way we have to scale up this business model, because there are like one side which is 100% digital. It's a way we have like, or we receive this money to lend directly to the smallholder farmers. It's thanks to different kinds of partnerships. And here we must announce, or we must refer to one of the latest partnerships with Heifer International. Heifer is one of the biggest NGOs worldwide. And past June, we closed this partnership. It's $500,000 investment through EthicHub platform directly to Heifer International smallholder farmers community. But it is like the first time that a very big important player, or corporate player in this case, it's using blockchain technology in order to disintermediate within the traditional banking system and lend money directly to unbanked people. We always like to say that EthicHub aims to be what we call like a last mile solution, because finally we try to disintermediate, it's like a kind of cascade. The money goes or flows from the government or impact investment funds directly to unbanked people, but normally that got stuck in the middle. They don't know how to reach these people, and actually this is what we are doing. In this case, just a quick demo. As I said before, there are like 2 different kind of products. The first one is the one that allows everyone to stake ethics or native token to the different communities or the cooperative we have right now that we are lending money to. And then we have also these what we call the bonds. You can deposit say USD, so dollars, or you can also deposit euros, and it depends on the time or the maturity. Your profitability will be much lower or much higher. Just another quite important thing that I would like to share with you. I'm sorry because we're having some kind of problem with the API, so I cannot share with you or show you the on-chain metrics, but you can take a look whenever you want at ethichub.com. And I want to share with you that this or traditional, let's say like non-crypto platform, more similar to crowdfunding platform. And if you click on any of these projects, you have like all the information about who they are, why do they need the money, where are they located, and also, and it's quite important, and it's one of the most, let's say like the competitive advantage of blockchain, it's a full traceability. So you can click on the smart contract and you will know automatically all the information from that community and the total amount of money that have been lent to them, and also some other information about when they have to repay this loan. And also, you can also, if you want, take a look at our forum. Everything is open here. And every new credit originator, or in this case, every new cooperative that we are in contact with, they must go through this process in order to be accepted within the EthicHub community. And that's all. It's been quite straight to the point. Tomer?
Can you explain more how you said something about game theory, and that's why they pay back? Can you take a deeper dive? I'm a farmer, I got the money. What's your strategy for claiming back the loans?
Absolutely. We must identify that there are like different kind of roles within the whole game theory application. In this case, we talk about the auditors, and then we talk about the credit originators. The auditors are the ones boots on the ground who we can trust. Normally, there are like NGOs or such as Haven International, who have like some kind of credibility or reputation. They have like direct contact with the smallholder farmers, the credit originators, and they are the one recommending us to work directly with them. And within this kind of game theory, the auditor needs to also stake some ethics, so they have skin on the game. In this case, it's the initial 20% amount of the total borrowed amount that the originator wants. So I will repeat this. Sorry. So let's say that there are one new cooperative. They want to borrow $100 from EthicHub. So Haven International needs to stake the initial 20% on ethics. Okay. The 20%.
What's the collateral rate? So it's what's a 1.5, 1.8?
In this case, right now the over collateralized system, it's like per 9, something like that.
It's what? Sorry.
Per 9. It's 9 times the total
9
amount.
times. So
9 times.
Wait, so
right now.
it means that if a farmer borrowed $100, then $900 of ethics needs to be staked.
No. I mean, right now the over collateralized system, it's
okay
per 9 times.
What's the 20%? Does the arbitrator
the initial amount that they want to borrow? So if someone wants to borrow 100, the initial amount that the auditor needs to stake, it's $20 in ethics.
Got it. Okay.
Another $20 must be staked from the originator. It's like a kind of membership. Okay, so it's a way we can trust them. That's at initial 40%. And the other 60% is staked by our community. Okay, so then we have this 100%. Once we have that 100%, the credit line is open to the originator. So we send them the money through the blockchain technology, and they can withdraw from an exchange. In this case, normally it's Binance, because we are working mainly on LATAM. And after 12 months, it's the average repayment period. They deposit the money on Binance, and then they repay the credit line. This is how it works. And additional information here, important is that, as we say here, oops, it's this slide, sorry. 4% of every loan, it's used to increase the crowd collateral system. So it's a kind of insurance. EthicHub has been working without this kind of crowd collateral system. This is one of the innovations. We call it like a kind of blended finance 2.0. It's like a junior or debt tranche. But the most interesting thing here is that this 4%, it's because if there are any kind of increase of defaults, we can always like play a little bit with numbers, so we can increase the amount that it's being used as an insurance.
Anyone else wants to have some more questions to Juan?
Hi, John. How are you? Thanks for your presentation.
John, sorry.
John, what can the farmers use the funds they get? I mean, is it just for agricultural projects, or can they use it to build their house, or?
No, right now we are focusing on coffee producers, mainly because Jorge and Gabriela, EthicHub founders, they are half Mexican, half Spaniards, and they came from coffee producer families. They really knew about this problem. And this is how EthicHub start, like with a very simple MVP focus on Mexico, even we have been growing to more than 6 countries. And normally there are smallholder farmers that have been between 2 and 10 hectares, no less and no more. And we are not financing, in this case, let's say like entrepreneurships. We always ask for some kind of record that they have been working with their lands for more than 3 years. It's the way we have to ensure the payment or the payback of the loans. This is quite important for us because they are very good payers. The average default, and I think it's the average default is around like worldwide 3%. But the main problem for them is that because there are like no records, they cannot prove that they are very good payers.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi,
Do you do-
sorry.
Sorry.
So sorry. Sorry, Ruben. Just a quick question, right? So if let's say your collateral pool is gotten so big, do you have any plan for your collateral pool to be used or just mainly focus on to be used as a collateral?
It's used as collateral. I mean, the main, let's say like the main utility of ethics token in this case, it's to be a trust token. So it shows how much you can trust on a new kind of cooperative, and it's used as collateral. That's all. Also, why we are very focused on increase the total amount of ethics liquidity on DEXs or on centralized exchanges and also decentralized exchanges, in order to, if there are any kind of liquidation, be able to absorb this amount of money to be sold. At the same time, we are also diversifying because we are always trying to expand the number of cooperatives we are lending money to, and also the geographical zone. And we started working with coffee producers, even we already started with cocoa trials, mainly in Peru. So finally, the technology is something that can be implemented to other kind of commodities. It's just that we are very focused on coffee right now, because we are also selling the coffee. And every time that we want to expand, we'll try to find or to look for some kind of partner where we have like this know-how within the new vertical.
What is required like to be a partner of yours if you want to start in a new geography now, in a new country?
They have to talk with that. Right now, it's something very manual. We didn't automate this, let's say, like this process. So we start talking with them directly, understanding like what they are doing, if they have some kind of incentive. Normally, we don't work with freelancers. We work with corporations. We work someone who's like already involved in the whole operation. So they have some incentives, for example, some kind of coffee supplier, because maybe he knows someone that really needs the money, and he knows that there are someone who have very good or very qualified coffee, but they don't have the money to work the land. So this is how we start, and then we go through a due diligence process by our team. But it's something not scalable in this case, and that's why we are trying to pivot or to move into this kind of partnerships with Heifer International and other kind of NGOs who already have the experience and who have been already working with the smallholder farmers.
And John, just to clarify, the main people you deal with are cooperatives and kind of collective groups. Is that right?
Right now, yeah, we are working with cooperative, and then the cooperative distributes the money.
And who kind of guarantees or facilitates the activity in those groups? Is there a kind of role or specific person, or is it just...
Yeah, normally there are like one manager in charge of the cooperative.
Right.
Okay. I mean, actually, the cooperative, it's the normal way they have to gather or they have to coordinate in those countries.
Yeah.
Maybe one person cannot have access to traditional banking system, or they cannot open a bank account. But once they are gathered, or they constitute a cooperative, they can have access to one bank account. This is how we work. And as I said before, right now we cannot lend money directly to the smallholder farmer as a person, but rather to the group. But our final goal, and also that's why we are working on Celo, it's because most of them they have access to internet, but they have access to a mobile phone. So the final goal is to lend money directly to them.
Got it.
With that in mind, we have 4 presenters. I want to thank you for your presentation. That was lovely, and That's exactly the kind of things that I think we all gather around the blockchain world to see happening. I definitely don't take your guys' work for granted, and thank you for that. If you guys have, let's ask that, any more questions to ask as a credit collective that you want to ask, that will be the time. If anyone,
There is a question in the chat as well.
Oh yes, sorry. Is the John for you?
Thank you. Yeah, right now it's calculated using the mark to market, not looking to the liquidity on chain.
So for next steps, one, if you want to come up as a speaker, just fill up the form. Sebastian sent it both in chat and in the group. Sebastian, I understood you then present yourself. Do you want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, how's it going? Sebastian here, Colombian born and raised, part of the Flori team, and help you with all the operations here. So anything you need, I will be sharing the report later in the Telegram group. Also for everything related to showcase your project here, and the community calls. Happy to help. Okay.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Yes, I hope you got to learn something new about projects today. As I said, it's a community building calls. I hope you enjoy. I hope you met some new things you didn't heard of, and that we'll see you again, either in the live project or in 2 weeks when we'll have our next call. We'll send the update in the group. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Tomer.
you. Have a good day. Good night. Bye.
Nice.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks,
Everyone.
Bye.
Night,
Cheers,
everyone.
everyone.